My producer agrees. Joey, Gilbert, Arizona, welcome to the show.
I'm really intrigued by these people that are offended so much by the cross. And I'm a Christian. And, if you look at our country was founded on biblical principles.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, absolutely it was.
No, I think Jesus said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, render unto God what is God's, meaning separation of church and state. And so even Jesus understood that.
Well, you're taking it out of context.
No, I'm not taking it out of context. We have... Listen, have you ever read the Treaty of Tripoli, written by, Thomas Jefferson?
No.
Well, you should, because you talk about the founders, and he's very specific there. He says to Tripoli, who are trying to get into a trade arrangement with Libya, believe it or not, and so he wrote to the Muslims of Tripoli and assured them that America is not a Christian nation.
Did you hear about the 20-year Supreme Court study?
Who did?
That proved they investigated
Done by whom?
to see if our country was
Done by whom? I'll look it up. Done by whom?
Well, the Supreme Court issued a study. Yeah. Well,
the Supreme Court issued a study saying that we were founded under Christian principles?
They told people.
I don't think so. No, Joey. You got to stop listening to whoever you're listening to and watching whatever you're watching, because it's not true.
Well, I mean, you're entitled to your
It's not my opinion. It's Thomas Jefferson's words. Listen, this isn't a Christian nation, Joey. It's not.
Oh, absolutely it is.
Oh, absolutely it's not. There's a separation between church and state, an establishment clause. I mean, even Jesus agreed that what is Caesar's and what is God's, period.
No, wait, hold on.
We do not interpret the Bible in our laws, Joey. We don't.
People take one verse and they subvert it.
Well, never mind the Bible then. Read the Treaty of Tripoli, where Jefferson right to...
one document.
So what, he lied?
No. If you look at all the founding fathers, have you ever read a book called The Light and the Glory?
No, thank you.
Have you read it or have you not?
No, thank you. I read the Constitution for these things. I read the Supreme Court decisions for these things. I don't read fiction for these things.
No. These are actual documents, like Christopher Columbus.
Christopher Columbus was not American. He was Italian.
No. Hold on. No, I'm talking about entries in his diary.
Who cares? He's not an American. And in 1492, there was no America. Who cares what Christopher Columbus said?
No. It's talking about how he relied on God.
Who cares? He's Italian.
You have to look at original documents.
Christopher Columbus is not an original document. Christopher Columbus is an Italian citizen. He went to Spain and brought them slaves from the West Indies and said, I can bring you more of these black people if you give me money for the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Why in the world would you rely on him for American values?
Slavery.
Who was Christopher Columbus in American history?
He was credited with discovering America.
Which is called America because of Amerigo Vespucci.
You're taking out of context. I'm talking about in his book.
Okay, I hear you.
His journal entries.
I know. Joey.
Where his journal entries.
I just want to know, who is Christopher Columbus in American history to you?
He was credited with discovering America.
And what does that have to do with the founding of America?
I'm sorry? You're breaking up. I couldn't hear you.
And what role did Christopher Columbus play in the drafting of the Constitution or the founding of the colonies?
None.
Right. Thank you.
Hold on. What I'm saying is, with the Pilgrims, there's so much more than what they tell us in schools. There's so much more to it. Things that happened in the founding of our country that 99% of people have no idea about.
Well, I'm not one of those 99%.
Well, I mean, that's possible. What I'm saying is, there's people take things at face value. They find out from their teacher. Well, we had Pilgrims, and they grew their own vegetables, but they can't really tell you the whole story, because they're not allowed.
Well, I have allowed you.
What I'm saying is,
stop talking for a minute. I've allowed you to explain, and you've done a really bad job of it. You're equating Christopher Columbus with the founding fathers. Let me read you the Treaty of Tripoli, okay? I looked it up while you were talking about your Starlight Bright book or whatever.
See, I'm driving. I don't have
Joey, it doesn't matter. You're quoting some book I've never read, and I'm able to have a discussion with you about it. Well, all of a sudden you're at a deficit? You're making my throat hurt, by the way. You shouldn't make me yell today. Here's Treaty of Tripoli. As the government of the United States of America is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion, as it has in itself no character of enmity against the laws, religion, or tranquility of Mussulmen, which are Muslims, and as the said states never have entered into any war or act of hostility against any Neo-Mishan nation, Muslim nation, as declared by the parties that no pretext arising from religious opinions shall ever produce an interruption of the harmony existing between the two countries. So, we have no character as a religious nation. None whatsoever.
So what you're saying is Thomas Jefferson is the spokesperson for every...
What other founding fathers, besides Christopher Columbus, would you like me to research for you?
There's tons of founding
Why
fathers.
is America called America?
Why don't you tell me why it was America called America?
Because Amerigo Vespucci named it.
I'm sorry?
Amerigo Vespucci named it, not Columbus, or we'd be calling it, I don't know, Columbia if it was his thing.
He's just the one that they credited with in the schools.
Right, but he didn't.
So what I'm saying is there's so much more.
The truth is, the Chinese probably came east and found LA first. That's probably closer to the truth, but it has nothing to do with Columbus writing about God. Who cares what Christopher Columbus thought?
I'm talking about his original document.
Okay, but when we're trying to figure out if America is or is not a Christian nation, who cares about what Christopher Columbus had to say? Why are you using Christopher Columbus as the guy?
I was telling you, the beginning of the book, called The Light and the Glory, is an original document based on, from the beginning of the Americas, when, what it was credited with. George Washington, the Revolution,
All right,
the
but
Revolution.
why did we fight the Revolution?
Because we wanted to get away from Britain.
Why?
From all the taxation.
No. It was because we wanted to get away from the king's religion.
Or they weren't allowed to worship the way they wanted to worship.
Right. We wanted to get away from the king's religion. And in fact, even on the Mayflower, you had the Danbury Baptists fighting with the Protestants, and you had Christians fighting Christians to the point where they had to have the Mayflower Compact to agree not to kill each other.
Well,
and then the Puritans came and they tried to live by religion, and what did they do? They went out on witch hunts. So, I mean, we're not a country of any religion, okay? We may be a religious people, but the country itself is not governed by religious law. Those would be countries like Iran, Saudi Arabia. We are not a Christian nation. And frankly, what you're saying is an insult to people who are not Christian, as if we don't have as much ownership in this country, and somehow if we sacrifice for our country, our sacrifice is less appreciated. It's less mourned. If Jefferson isn't enough for you, thank you, my producer just sent this over to me. If Jefferson wasn't enough for you, George Washington also says, "Let us with caution indulge the supposition that morality can be maintained without religions. I have examined all the known superstitions of the word, and I do not find in our particular superstition of Christianity one redeeming feature." These are the words of George Washington that I have just read to you. Thomas Paine. Here we go. Thomas Paine also says, "Accustom a people to believe that priests and clergy can forgive sins, and you will have sins in abundance. My country is the world, and my religion is to do good. I would not dare to dishonor my Creator's name by attaching it to this filthy book, the Bible." We'll be right back.